Well, good morning, viewers. Welcome back. Just a really short clip today. I've just want to show you what I'm doing as far as the paint goes. I've got all my paint together. I've decided not to show you all the boring stuff of rubbing back and preparing for paint. I think you probably all know that there's a lot of hours involved in that. I have started that process, cleaning up some of the parts that were dirty, and just doing those hours of blocking and all the rest of it that I need to do. The roof is not going to change much, so I don't need to fill it or anything like that. It's staying ratty. There's been sections on the lower quarters there that I've worked on yesterday. I put 4 hours on it yesterday afternoon. So a lot of that stuff I'm not going to just show endless hours of rubbing back and stuff, because I don't think there's anything in it for anyone. But what I'm going to do today is just show you what I'm doing as far as product I'm using to paint the car. Excuse me. I've just bought myself a really super cheap auto paint gun and compressor. The compressor cost me $500 and the gun was about 60 or 70, I forget now, roughly about that. So I'm just using a fairly basic gun. I'm not a spray painter, and I don't say I am, but I'm actually enjoying this. So come on, we'll have a look at what I'm using, and yeah, if it helps someone, beauty. So what I've got here is, that's the poppy red that I've had colour matched. It's the poppy red on the Volkswagen's got a paint code of L54K that no one seems to be able to mix. So what I did is I took the bonnet in to a Perro's paints and got them to colour match it. So that's the top coat. That's the thinners that'll be used, 810C. Ratio, I think it's about 10%, something like that. I'll Google that. I'm pretty sure it's 10%. And there's obviously the hardener, which it's a 2-to-1 ratio of paint and hardener. So yeah, that's it. That's the clear coat. It'll go on the top, and it takes the same hardener. So that clear coat's satin. So I don't want it wet look. I just want it to be shiny, but I don't want it to look, don't want it to stand out and glare someone on a wet day. So that's that product. And moving on, this is the primer. So there's your primer hardener, and there's the undercoat. So, or the primer. So that's that product. Moving across here, this is my cheap paint gun. I got that from Super Cheap Auto. That's what I'll be spraying it with. Yeah, that was about 60 or 70 bucks, something like that. And this is my new compressor, which I've only used once, so I've got to drain it every day. Probably put a filter regulator on it too, just to keep the moisture out of the paint. So that's where that is at. Sorry for the mess of the cord there. I've got to get some sort of a hose reel for that. So yeah, if you've got any questions about this paint, yeah, give us a bell. And it's a 2K, so there's nothing out of the ordinary with it. I've got another colour which is called Bahama Blue, which is about 64 beetle colour, because what I found on the panels of the car is underneath on is a blue. So I've wanted to match that to make the rat look. So I'm actually using what the car was like when I first got it and using that as a theme for ratting it, if that makes sense. So look, there's a number of techniques I might try. I might try wet tea bags to create the rust runs. So yeah, that's about where I'm at with that. So look, I hope this helps, and yeah, I'll look forward to catching you next time. See you later. Hooroo.